You're live on your DSTV, channel 41, Go TV 144. This is Joy News Prime. Our headlines this hour. Northern Regional Security Council directs police to initiate a manhunt for unidentified gunmen and the accomplice for the shooting of the chief of Tamale and 4 others, this dawn in a renewed chieftaincy dispute. Also, police service reveals 2 of its men were among suspects in some of the Bullion van robberies. We'll bring you details as it says it's made major strides in resolving the issues. Also here on Joy News Prime, e-levy is retrogressive and will worsen the plight of the poor. That's the verdict of the longest-serving finance minister, Kwesi Botre. He's painted a damning picture of Ghana's economy.
E-levy, we are concerned. One, we are concerned about its potential regressivity, but it affects the poor more than if I write a check, sell my account, if I go to a shop and use my card, I'm home free. But if I put my money in the wallet, okay, then I'm in trouble.
And coming up in business,
prices of petroleum product could hit 10 cedis per litre from next month as crude oil crosses $130 per barrel on the international market.
Kojo Brace will bring us details here on Joy News Prime. And Gary, what can we expect in sports?
What we can expect is that former IBF and IBO bantamweight champion Joseph Agbeko is unsure about his future. We get the latest from that.
The prophets are warriors because they fight for God, you know. So boxers are like prophets, you know. So I think I would say gradually the passion is dying slowly inside me. That's what I would say.
You have details of these stories and more in 60 minutes. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. I'm Ernest Mino. Stay for details. Hello again, thanks for choosing us. Now, the Northern Regional Security Council says it has directed the police to initiate a manhunt for the perpetrators of Monday dawn's indiscriminate gun attack on the Datbama Palace in Tamale. The chief of Tamale, Fuseni Bawa, and 4 others sustained gun wounds in the attack.
The incident is believed to have been triggered by the defiance of the Dakpema to beat the talking drums this week after the Yana ruled barring him from doing so. Regional Police Crime Officer Superintendent Baba Ananga has been given details on the attack.
Yes, there was an issue that we remember just the time passed. A press release from the Chief Police concerning the drama and giving the police the right to go into the palace, which we felt that it was not proper for police to invade the Chief Palace. Trying to conduct joint police military patrols within the city, we are still getting more information, which we think that we may not like to share just so openly like that, because we have suspects to arrest, and we have declared manhunt, or we have declared a kind of police military tracking of those suspects that we believe are involved.
Northern Regional Minister Shani Al-Hassan Shaibu says the police have been instructed to ensure the perpetrators are arrested and prosecuted for the attack.
The Yana was categorical. He said that he didn't have a Tamale chief. It was Guchena who has been assigned responsibility of Tamale by him. So I think this matter was settled with some instructions given to the Datema who was contesting that title, the Tamale chief. Defiance of the Yana's instructions is what is bringing us all this untoward activities. I think that it is the traditional council which has the mandate of making sure that these instructions of the Yana is obeyed to the letter. I am the chairman of the Security Council, and express instructions have been given to the police by the Security Council to make sure that anybody who is an accomplice of this thing is apprehended and tried by the law.
Northern Regional Minister Shani Al-Hassan Shaibu says the police have been instructed to ensure the perpetrators are arrested and prosecuted for the attack. Meanwhile, Public Relations Officer for the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Musbah Muhammad, says the victims are in stable conditions and responding to treatment.
We have 3 of those victims at the Tamale Teaching Hospital Accident and Emergency Department. 2 females, 1 male, and they are all in a stable condition. One came in a very critical condition, but after some attention has been given to this patient, she is responding quickly to treatment, and she's also in stable condition as we speak.
Let's go live to Tamale now and speak to Northern Region correspondent Martina Bugri. She joins us via Zoom. Martina, earlier you reported there was tension around the Dakpama Palace. What's the latest this evening?
Now, as we speak, the place is calm. People who were initially gathered, people have dispersed, and you only find those who are actually members of the palace currently at the palace. All those who came in the morning from other places have all dispersed. And I must say that the security is still patrolling the area since morning that they started, and they are still patrolling. We are told that they are going to increase more men and more patrols in the area now that it's getting dark. As we speak, the town is very calm. People are going about their normal duties as if nothing has actually happened. It's only around the Dakpema's Palace, because of the visibility of the security, you would know that there is something happening in the area. Apart from that, the town is actually very calm, and just the few patrols that were going on in the morning.
The police has been directed to arrest the perpetrators in this incident. Do we have a word from them as to the individuals they may be looking out for and what lead they are picking up?
When I spoke to the regional crime officer, he says that some names have been given, some leads have also been given, but they will not be able to make it public because the people themselves, once they know they are being hunted for, would go into hiding. And so they have identified some places they are actually hiding, and they'll be swooping on them very soon.
For the 4 who are in the hospital, the Tamale Regional Hospital, what is their condition as we speak?
1 has been discharged. There's left with the chief and some 2 others. The chief drama, we are told, is being treated somewhere. The police would not disclose to us, but as we are speaking, they are all in stable condition and responding to treatment.
Martina, thank you very much for bringing us those details from Tamale. And we'll stay with the Ghana Police Service because the service has revealed that it has made major strides in resolving the issues around the Bullion van robberies that hit the capital in recent times. According to the police, further details will be given to the public soon. These were contained in a press statement released Monday. My colleague Kweku Asante joins me live on Zoom with details of the press statement. Kweku, first of all, give us a background to this development.
So, Ernest, we know there have been a number of cases regarding bullion case robberies in Accra and in some parts of the country. We know that in June of last year, there were 2 bullion van attacks in a span of 3 days, where the first incident happening June 14, when a bullion van was attacked at Adedingbo near Jamestown here in Accra. A young police officer who was escorting the vehicle was actually attacked. He lost his life. The second attack happened on June 17, when passengers on the bullion van with registration number GN 6956 were attacked on the Winneba Accra Highway. The unknown assailants shot at the Otroko and Dominasi portion of that stretch. We know that in 2022 there's been 1 case of such highway robbery, and also in February this year another attempted robbery of a bullion van here in Accra that was foiled by the police. And so there's been a number of bullion van robberies in the past few weeks and actually months, leading to the police escalating the kind of evidence and also the kind of investigations and actions they are taking on this.
And this latest press release from the police actually gives us some information, especially with preliminary investigations they've carried out on some of the incidents. What are the details?
So, Ernest, shockingly, we understand that with the investigation that has been done, a police officer, actually 2 policemen, are found to have taken part in the planning and the actions that were in the lead up to this robbery. And so, if I can quote from the police statement, it says that preliminary investigations have established the involvement of 2 policemen among a number of other suspects. The investigations are continuing, and we expect to soon bring all culpable people to face justice. And so 2 policemen who were expected to be the ones playing the watchdog role and protecting the public, according to this police statement, have been found to have been playing a certain level of role in some of these bullion van robberies that we've noticed in the country.
The public have been worried about these developments. What's the assurance in terms of improving security, especially in the capital?
Right, and so according to this police statement signed by Alexander Kwekwe, the Director of Public Affairs, they are leaving no stone unturned. They are trying to go as much as they can to the bottom of all these cases to ensure that each and every person that may have played any role in these bullion van robberies are apprehended. And so they are assuring the public that whatever information they have to give to the police to lead in this investigation, they should do so, but they will always do their best to ensure that some of these robbery cases are nipped in the bud. Ernest.
Thank you very much for bringing us those details from the latest press release by the Ghana Police Service. Away from security, let's talk the economy now. Former Finance Minister Professor Kwesi Botwe says the controversial e-levy is regressive and will worsen the plight of the poor. Speaking at the One Ghana Movement Independence Day lecture, Professor Botwe lamented Ghana's hardline stance on the tax measure despite the rejection from the public. He wants government to dialogue with the minority towards finding a common ground on other avenues to raise revenue.
The e-levy, we are concerned. One, we are concerned about its potential regressivity, that it affects the poor more than, if I write a check, send my account, if I go to a shop and use my card, I'm home free. But if I put my money in the wallet, okay, then I'm in trouble. And if you take the assumptions, okay, so if it's not more than 100 or 200 or whatever threshold we use, then it's free. It is free for both the rich and the poor. Anyway, they're just concerned about the regressivity to start with. And the fact that it may not handle well, even encourage more cash transactions at the time when you are seeking that. So it is a matter of recognizing, understanding, and respecting the views of the dissident, if you like. Engaging in transparent and respectful conversation, and in the hope that even the opposition have some pessimism that the issues that we are critical issues. That's where the transparency and the thing gets resolved.
Professor Kwesi Botwe is urging government to admit there's a crisis before attempting to rally popular support from Ghanaians towards fixing it.
The solution to a problem starts with recognizing that there is one. It must start with a recognition that there is a crisis and level with the people. And wind down the hubris, the arrogance, the show of impunity that the people see in some sections of our political elite. Let me put it that way. Now, I've spoken at some length about our economic situation today and what can be done about it. I'm certain
Meanwhile, the country director of the World Bank, Frank Pierre Laporte, says the country faces a tough road ahead in its quest to restore macroeconomic stability. He also spoke at the lecture.
The country is in a very challenging situation, as you have listened, and other colleagues on the panel have acknowledged that. It's a very, they call it a crisis. We can describe it in many ways. Like Madam said also, is it a really serious situation? The numbers speak for themselves. The situation is very serious. And at the World Bank.
We stay on the economy a while longer because the increase in fuel prices at the pumps has led to a 15% hike in transport fares across major transport unions in the country. However, some members of the Techiman Pragya Riders Association say the incessant hikes in fuel prices is adversely affecting the Okada business. They are therefore appealing to government to stabilize the price of the commodity to help keep them in business. Here's a report by Nasser.
Commercial motorcyclists, better known as Pragya in the Techiman municipality of the Borno East region, are expressing passionate grief about the increase in the pump prices of petroleum products across the country over the past few months. Chairman of the Pragya Riders Association, Awal Mohammed, in an interview with Joy News, noted that the situation is compounding to the economic hardships they have been faced with.
The fuel hike in the country is affecting us seriously. Many of our guys always say that they are just working for the oil pumps. They don't get money. All the money goes to the fuel station. Not only that, the oil, that engine oil, you need to change. In a month, you have to buy 4 liters to change your. Then spare parts are also high, coupled with bad roads.
Even though there's been a 15% hike in transport fares across major transport unions, Awal Mohammed says for those in the tricycle trade, it only means they are only working for the oil marketing companies.
The 15% even, when we calculate 15%, it's not up 20 pesos and 30 pesos of our old charges. So it means that we are still working for the pump, and that we pray that government should do something. At least they should maintain it.
He laments the number of youth currently employed by the Pragya trade and asks that legalizing the tricycle business will contribute towards decreasing the unemployment challenges across the country.
There are a lot of youths in this business. Techiman alone, we have more than 2,000 youth in this. And I know that in the whole nation, there are thousands of Ghanaians who found comfort in this Pragya business and Okada. And that one also tells that there are a lot of people who are looking for jobs. And so it's our prayer that government will look at that and listen to our plight. At least legalize this for us. Legalize it so that youth will get more jobs.
But to these riders who find solace in the Pragya trade, what does these incessant hikes in fuel prices mean to them? The hike in the prices of fuel is really affecting our business. We spend about 80 cedis filling our tanks now, and that is not even enough. And this is really affecting us. At first we fill our tanks with 45 Ghana cedis and work with it for the whole day. But now we spend 65 cedis, and by 3 p.m. we have to go to the pumps again. We use all the money in buying fuel. The situation is not only affecting the motorcyclists. The people who patronize their services are equally worried. Some of them say the hike in fares will worsen their financial challenges. This would worsen our plight. We don't have money and we can't be trekking too, so we are really suffering. Both the riders and the passengers have one common plea. They call on authorities to work towards stabilizing the prices of fuel at the pumps to help save the situation. Government should reduce the fuel prices so we can patronize their services. If not, we'll really be in trouble.
We will pray that government will look at something and reduce the price. or maintain it for a while. At least if the fuel price we know that we can maintain for some time, then we can also adjust ourselves and work about it.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Techiman.
Now, Fatima Sumani was inspired to stand up and create a job for herself by her desire to do something different, not to get bogged down in life. She abandoned her professional studies at the University for Development Studies in order to pursue what pays well. Joy News' Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reports other young women in Tamale are now taking advantage of Fatima's experience to learn fashion design.
My name is Fatima Sumani. I completed University for Development Studies, offered integrated development studies. Yes, I ventured into fashion and designing as just the interest, the skill I'd wanted to just acquire, the passion that drove me into it. From UDS, after my national service, I then decided to pursue it as a profession.
At the end of her national service in 2012, she decided to enroll at Abbey Creation University College for 6 months of training in fashion design. Fatima says she saved the monthly allowance for the training.
Whilst having my national service program, I had it in mind already that right after national service, I was going to pursue this course, and it involves money. So I saved my allowance for that 1 whole year period. So what I saved is what I took to school. But the point that you actually need capital to start something is not the whole, that's not the whole situation. Your passion pushes you. You can actually start. My field, for instance, having even just a needle and thread is enough for you to gather money for a sewing machine. Then after the sewing machine, you can also gather enough for a different thing. That was how I grew.
The 34-year-old does not regret making such a decision. But how much does she earn?
Months, we do most bridals. So in a month where we have the bridal clients coming in, we can make like 20. Yes, we can make like 20. But there are also times you make less. Yes, there are also times you make. Yeah, that's profit. There are also times you make less than 1,000 Ghana cedis. There are times like that with the business. You make less than 1,000 Ghana cedis, and there are also times you make more of it.
So far, Fatima has trained 21 women at her institute. 6 of them are graduates from various universities across the country. Hafiz Abdallah, a KNUST real estate graduate, and Besla Kando, who also studied community nutrition from UDS, are among the current trainees.
I've been here for about a month now. So far we've learned how to do basic hand stitches, decorative stitches, seams, and now we are working on finishes. So I'm working on one now, and I'm sure, I hope, and I'm sure that at the end of the 6 months learning period, I'll be able to make my own clothes and make clothes for my family as well.
I'm basically here to learn everything I need to know about fashion, and so I took this step to join this fashion class and learn, because fashion is one thing that I've always loved and I've always wanted to explore, but I've never really found the right time to do it. And so I've been talking to Fati for a while now, and then when the opportunity presented to join the weekend class, I said, why not? Let me come and do something that I've always wanted to learn, something that I love and I use almost every day.
Fatima says there is hope for her business, and there is also hope for graduates chasing a few non-existing jobs. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
This is Joy News Prime with me, Ernest Mino. Still to come in business, prices of petroleum products could hit 10 cedis per litre from next month as crude oil crosses the $130 a barrel on the international market. Kojo Brace will bring us details of this after the break. Please stay with us.
The prices of petrol and diesel may indeed hit 10 cedis a litre, as is being projected by some analysts and energy experts. There is more in this report.
It's $130 a barrel today on the international market. This is due to threats of the US and Europe placing fresh sanctions on the oil exports from Russia due to the country's invasion of Ukraine. The development may push prices of petroleum on the local market even higher. This is because, apart from crude oil prices going up, there are also concerns about difficulties in transporting the finished petroleum product from Europe to Ghana, which is adding up to the cost of fuel in the country. Prices of petroleum products were increased by some 4 to 6% at the pumps about 2 weeks ago by most of the oil marketing companies in Ghana. The increment led to the highest price quote, pegged at 8 cedis 29 pesos a litre. However, most of the oil firms have argued that this was even the lowest price margin, claiming that prices should have even been above 9 cedis a litre. Some oil marketing firms have told Joy Business that prices could hit 10 cedis from April due to what is happening on the international market. The fears have been influenced by the Ghana cedis, which have also depreciated sharply against the US dollar. This is definitely in line with what some energy analysts have projected. Fuel prices going up again on the international market might not be good for the economy in these challenging times, as it would increase the cost of living and cost of doing business and manufacturing, while the inflation rate maybe goes up further, a development that could also affect the savings and investment of some Ghanaians.
Now, in a related development, the Executive Secretary at the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Amwa, has maintained that it's not enough for government to argue that there is little it can do to cushion consumers.
Capture $62.5 a barrel for our budgetary support funding. Anything beyond 62.5 is a win for revenue. Currently, we've crossed the $100 mark. If it's 102.5, that's $40 extra. Chances of this getting to 120 remains very high, and that could mean double of what our own projections are for 2022. Those added revenues are not part of government projected revenues for budgetary support, right? So they are win for revenues. You get them anyway, because if you put crude out there today, that's how much the market is taking them. So you get those windfalls. If you do not decide as a country that at the same time market prices are moving upwards, my economy is suffering a hit because of increases in pump prices. I have said this and I'll repeat. The government itself remains the single largest consumer within the economy, because the same government would have to fuel the judiciary, our judges, right? You would have to fuel Article 71 office holders, quite a number. You would have to fuel the ministries, departments, agencies, quite a number. You would have to fuel the security setup, from the police to the military to the navy to air force. Whatever fuel they consume doesn't come from the pockets of these officers. The state would have to pay for it. So when it's 5 cedis a litre, right, and you're also buying from the same market everybody pays for, your expenditure probably monthly could be 500 million.
That's all in business for today. My name is Samuel. Kojobre Sports is up next.
Thank you for staying with us on Joy News Prime. Gary Al Smith here with the sports. And our first story, former IBF bantamweight champion Joseph Agbeko has told Joy Sports that he's uncertain about his immediate future. His last international fight was against Abner Maris in August 2021, and Maris beat Agbeko in one of the most controversial fights in recent years. Speaking on the Joy Sports link, the 41-year-old boxer says he's focusing more on developing the next generation of Ghanaian boxers.
Boxing is a sport that nobody has to retire.
Okay.
It's a sport that if you don't beat your opponent, it's going to beat you. When you start feeling the punches, nobody's going to tell you to retire. So when I listen to people telling other fighters to stop boxing, I laugh sometimes, because boxing is one sport that I believe that is one of the major career in life that we can say God calls people to do it, as our religious leaders who say, oh, this is a man of God, or God has called you, you know.
Okay.
I believe boxing is one of a career that you have to be called by God before you can do that. I always mix boxing with religious leaders' job.
I see.
Because I believe all the prophets or all the religious leaders were being called by God, and boxing is a sport that when you go into the gym, you want to be a boxer. When you start sparring, on your first day, you will see blood coming out of your mouth or your nose or a cut or whatever. On your second day, you will still see blood. You will continue to see blood until some time. On your easy day, you still see blood. So when you see someone goes into the gym and then he get bloody nose and then goes home and come back the following day, then you have to know that something is born in him. Okay. The sport is born in him. The passion is there. When you have that passion inside you, you don't really focus on the financial benefits of the sport. You don't focus on anything. You just enjoy doing it, and that is what I call calling. You know, you do something with no expectation of fundraising, no expectation of anything, and it's a tough sport. The prophets are warriors because they fight for God, you know. So boxers are like prophets, you know. So I think I would say gradually the passion is dying.
In football, Hearts of Oak are still basking in the glow of beating their sworn rivals Asante Kotoko to the President's Cup at the Accra Stadium on Friday. Now, some behind the scenes for you. Joy Sports' Joel Bote watched the game with fans of the two clubs, and this is how it went down.
Fans of Accra Hearts of Oak and Kumasi Asante Kotoko were extremely confident that their side were going home with a trophy, 50,000 Ghana cedis, and a bragging right over their rival.
Well, I'm looking for a 1-0 in favor of Hearts of Oak. It looks like a very tight game, so I don't expect too many goals. So just 1-0.
Just 1-0. And you?
He's thinking of defending after scoring, but that's not going to be possible. We are winning the game. I'm not giving a scoreline, but we are winning the game.
No scoreline. What about the goal scorer?
We are winning. He's thinking of scoring and defending. Nothing like that here. We are winning.
With both clubs facing each other on numerous occasions in the tournament, the Porcupine Warriors have won it 8 times, making them the most successful side in the competition. The tension of the game could be felt on the concrete stands right from the first minute, with every sound of the referee's whistle being greeted with agitation from the supporters of both teams. Grabbing whatever opportunity came their way, both teams mounted pressure on each other. Tension spread like wildfire, but well-respected Ghanaian referee Gabriel Upoku Ahe calmed the nerves of the fans by taking the game to a 15-minute halftime break. The scoreline, it remained goalless. Many had their attention fixated on the halftime show of Ghana's version of the Super Bowl, but a section of the fans, however, engaged with Joy Sports.
Hello, my sister. What's your name?
Hello, my name is Bridget.
Bridget, And you are? Elom. Okay, so quickly, let me get your thoughts on the first half. What do you think of the first half?
The guys did a good job, so I'm very positive that my team will win.
And what team do you support?
Fabia!
And you, what's your thoughts on the first half?
The guys did do very well, so we are just waiting for the goal. Yeah.
Who are you rooting for?
Hearts.
You're also Phobia?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think the full-time scoreline will be?
We just want one goal. Just 1-0 against Kotoko.
1-0. And who do you want to score that goal?
Montari. Montari for the win!
The second half kicked off with players of both clubs calling out to their gods, explaining what it meant to them on the field. They went all out. Hearts of Oak began the second half on their strong foot. The next thing we know, Ifriye Banye breaks the deadlock. His strike caught Ibrahim Danlad off guard, with the 19-year-old goalkeeper questioning the positioning of his defenders. The Phobian fans were instantly energized, singing their powerful anthem, leaving fans of Asante Kotoko feeling not so fabulous anymore. The Porcupine Warriors knew they had to return the favor if they really wanted to stand the chance of being victorious at the end of the day. Out of nothing, substitute Samuel Boateng from the bench of Prosper Ogum brought hope, charging fans of the Kumasi-based club and causing commotion amongst the Phobians. He brought Hearts' joyous chants to a halt. For a moment, it felt like the game was headed into extra time, with Hearts of Oak being defensive and Asante Kotoko not being able to break the defensive lines. All it took was an interception in the defensive half of Hearts of Oak, a well-calculated long ball, and the pace of Patrick Razak to get the fans on their feet.
After 90 minutes of action, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, who were the holders of the President's Cup, have lost it to their arch rivals, Accra Hearts of Oak, right here at their home grounds.
On that behind the scenes note, that's it for the sport for the moment. Thank you for your time. I'm Gary Al Smith. More on the following social media handles: Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Thanks for staying with us here on Joy News Prime. Now, Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says beginning April this year, the school feeding program will be digitized. He notes now this is part of moves to cut back on the waste and underhand dealings that have worked against the social intervention program for school children in most parts of the country. The system, when launched, is expected to monitor what pupils are fed with at every given time to ensure the quality of meals received and also verification of claims. Dr. Bawumia announced this at the 70th anniversary celebration of Fijai Senior High School in Takrady.
Next month, ladies and gentlemen, we are digitizing the school feeding program. And next month, I will launch, we looked at it last week, it's all set. Next month, we will launch a digitized school feeding program. We will know every school in the country, every day. If you feed them rice and beans, we will know. How many students you have fed, we will know. There will be no room for kululu in the school feeding program after we launch this program next month. We are doing so much for the first time, and we need to understand that we are changing this country. We are transforming this country. Let nobody tell us that we cannot do it.
Let's do some politics now. Some members of the governing New Patriotic Party in the Fomena constituency have staged a demonstration against the leadership of the party. The youth are questioning the rationale behind the exemption of the constituency in the party's election for polling station executives. They have also threatened to cross carpet and campaign for the opposition NDC to win power come 2024. Mahmoud Mohamed Nuruddin has more.
The angry members were seen changing the party colors of the MPP at the constituency office to that of the opposition NDC.
But what we are trying to do today is just highlighting for everybody to see that whatever we told them 2 weeks ago, if you told me we gave them 1 week, but we gave extra week to wait, maybe they were not prepared, so we gave them another 1 week, making 2 weeks, and we haven't had any reasonable and sensible thing from our dinner secretary. That is why I always tell him a political illiterate. You have this chunk of people who are supporting your base, and you want to disperse them.
They threatened to support the opposition NDC to win the 2024 election due to what they described as unfair treatment by the MPP leadership.
I'll go to NDC. National Democratic Congress. I'll go to NDC. I'll do full campaign for NDC. You alone or your entire family? My entire family. I will do the campaign, severe campaign for NDC party, because the MPP party, they have done nothing to me. Okay. I've suffered a lot. So they're not.
The group says the suspension of the internal party election in the Fomena constituency is unacceptable. On 22nd of February, the members issued a 1-week ultimatum to the national executives of the MPP to respond to allegation of creating room for Andrews Amoakwasiama to contest as an unopposed parliamentary candidate in the 2024 election. They claim leadership of the party failed to respond to the.
And with that report, we end the holiday edition of Joy News Prime. Many thanks for your company. Please log on to myjoyonline.com. You'll find more stories there. Happy Independence Day and enjoy the rest of your holiday.